The blockchain industry supposedly strives for decentralization. But ask yourself this: how come we still have to rely on centralized systems? Day after day we have to read about massive exchange hacks and delistings. We can do better. The original vision of blockchain and the promise of decentralized future is still here. Let us seize the opportunity and code the future we have always dreamed about, that is an open and trustless society, free from the whims of politics and gatekeepers. To get there, we must place emphasis on building technologies that connect blockchain ecosystems together. Let us tie all the innovations, all the blockchain protocols, all the crypto communities into a single great network. We're blockchain pioneers, visionaries, hackers, and cyberpunks, and most importantly, a community. We are here to lay down the building blocks that will lead to full interoperability for the crypto metaverse. If you only remember one thing, remember this: what we can achieve is only limited by our imagination, and to achieve great things, we have to work together. Join us on our journey. Educate and empower yourself. Build the future with us.
Hello, welcome one and all. Hello and welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for making the time to be here and to listen to this half-year update for Komodo platform. My name is ejuliano, and I'm so glad to be with you today. Welcome. There's a lot of exciting news to share about what has been done and what is coming. So we're going to hear about some technological developments. We're going to hear about marketing information. We're going to hear about KMD and Komodo platform use cases and business developments side of things. It's really exciting, and I know you are all just hungry to find out what's been going on and what's coming. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Audo. He's going to give us a quick preview of what's to come.
9 months ago, we set ourselves on the journey to build a closer relationship with our community. And today, we are working with numerous contributors on a daily basis. And now we would like to upgrade our vision and set ourselves on a path that the entire Komodo marketing would be done and run by its community. So we want to create a space where you can learn new skills, network with each other, and empower yourself. Then together we would create Komodo the recognition it deserves. And the role of our full-time marketing team is to guide and support us all on this journey. We would provide the general direction and do the heavy lifting necessary. Then to my final point. So we will start to produce a lot more creative content. But what is that? So it is a mixture of storytelling, video content, and other visuals, with the purpose to articulate who we are and what we are here to do. And we believe that this is the missing piece that will widen our reach and drive more engagement for Komodo. So you are very welcome to join the effort and get more involved. So I will see you on the Hangouts.
This is Charles from the Komodo Business Development Team. One of the largest things that we've been working on and we're very excited about is a project that has been building out their technology and their services on the Komodo chain. They've also been using the Atomic DEX network to build out their exchange, and they will be announcing soon. One of the other things we've been working on through the year has been applying for grants for development. We've landed a few of these, and some of them are mainly for Atomic DEX integration, and the other are for the Atomic DEX wallet Additionally, we've been working towards Atomic DEX integrations of different types of coins. We've also worked towards the sale of branded DEXs, which there's a few already out in the market. We've been working with the marketing team in order to create business documentation, business website, and other material that will increase revenue for the project. And the other thing that we've been working on is brainstorming ways to add more utility for the Komodo coin. What we would like is to increase the use case for Komodo within the ecosystem, which will in turn make it more usable within the ecosystem. There will be more buy pressure for the Komodo coin, and it would make more sense to actually hold the coin once these things are implemented.
CA333, you there?
Hey, ejuliano. Hey, how are you? Can you hear me, guys?
Hello. We can hear you. Thank you. Yes. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
So take it away whenever you're ready.
Yeah, sure. I'll just give you a quick overview, right? What's been going on the last 6 months? What I've been working on? Mainly, absolutely, like you said, Atomic DEX. That's one main layer. That's basically our main focus. I'd say 70 to 80% of the Komodo dev team resources are allocated towards this technology layer, right? And we've literally been working 2-3 months now towards this new 0.5 release. We basically taking this as a stable beta release, right? That's the last major release before the team will shift focus towards web DEX. And with this 0.5 release for both mobile as well as desktop, we're bringing this simple trading view, right? So, PDY, Charles just mentioned, right? The basically reaching the stage, the goal where you pick a base currency, pick the amount you want to get rid of, and just pick the coin you want to receive in exchange for. And you won't have to take care of anything else, right? So this is literally a smart swap logic, right? So the Atomic DEX is taking basically over the work that the end user would have to do. You'd have to check the best orders, prices, available volumes, and so on, pause order books. You know what I mean? That's a hustle, their users, they just are not professional traders, and they're likely gonna miss opportunities and so on. So we said, okay, we need a truly noob and grandma friendly way of trading in the Atomic DEX. And we call it the simple trading view. That's something that's rolling out with the 0.5 release. Really, we're probably a week, 2 away from this major release. It's being actively tested. We tactic feature complete already. So just give us a few more days. There will be peak sneak previews and so on. And I'm sure you're going to love it, right? And besides this basically huge GUI, UI-based enhancement, right? This is going to enhance the user experience crazily. But besides that, we've added and worked on further protocol enhancements, right? We've added the BP20. So basically Binance Smart Chain platform support, native support. We bridged Atomic DEX and all trading pairs and all the cryptocurrencies that are already supported on Atomic DEX over to BNB, over to the BP, to the BSC platform, right? This was one big milestone that we reached. It was really a major goal of our roadmap for this year, and we hit that. One thing that we're working on right now is the so-called R swaps, right? R swaps, also called the Z swaps, is gonna provide native atomic swap capabilities for shielded trading pairs, for shielded currencies such as pirate, right? We said, okay, let the pirates do some arbitrage trades. You know what I mean? We just said, okay, we're gonna implement it. This is something we're working on actively now. We're working on the SLP token integration, right? So the Bitcoin Cash protocol, they do have a token standard, and we're currently implementing support for that layer as well. So you can see the 0.5 really, and what I mentioned, it's really a kind of a TLDR. This is just a rough summary, right? There are many more things, and if I wanted to tell you about all the things that we implemented, that we worked on, that we polished, I guess it would go well beyond the scope of this event. I'd need a couple more hours just to cover Atomic DEX, right? And I just want to give you a few more things that are coming. So I'll just leave it there and just wait for the 0.5. check it out, and I'll assure you, I guarantee you, you're gonna love it, right? This is like a major like step. And this also brings me like to the next major piece, and that's WebDex, right? WebDex, what's WebDex, right? Just 1-2 sentences, right? I really don't want to like rub off more of your time. WebDex is, imagine you open your web browser. It doesn't matter where this web browser is running. This could be your laptop. This could be your Nintendo Switch. This could be your smart TV. I mean, it could be even your smart fridge or coffee machine. And you just type in trade.atomicdex.io, just like one example, right, on how this could look. And it will like load a standalone peer-to-peer DEX node into your web browser, right? We're making use of native web environment technologies, right, of so-called WebAssembly. So this basically turns the web browser into a kind of operating system. And this is also like this paradigm shift that we're seeing. The key web browser providers, like we're talking about Mozilla, we're talking about Google, and so on. They're working on these standards together. And, from a tech perspective, we can see they are all aiming, to shift towards this web environment. They are looking at the web environment to become like the operating system of the future. Like native application dApps, right? Right now, you'd like install an app through the App Store, through Play Store, etc. But in a few years from now, people will just like type in a URL in their browser and they have the app running natively in the browser, right? And you won't actually run this software on a centralized server. It will really operate locally in your browser environment. And this is WebDex. So it means you can use your web browser for atomic DEX operations, for wallet operations, 100% trustless, non-custodial, and still 100% peer-to-peer based, right? This is decentralized technology, right? And to me, this is the most exciting, really the most exciting milestone that we're hitting concerning DEX technology on the Komodo side. This will come with the LP tools that Charles has mentioned, right? So we want to give, end users and also like professional traders, liquidity providers, also the big players, just handy tools, trading bots, easy configurable, something where you can just super trivially set up like some trading strategies, maybe even external refunding sources so that you could, for example, use your API key for Binance. You can have like your order books up on the WebDex, and whenever your order books are running out, you'll just like fetch new coins, buy them somewhere centralized, add a margin on top, and resell them on the WebDex, right? You could even like listen for basically for order requests that aren't being matched and orientate towards the user demand, and just like make some arbitrage deals on there, right? So this is like super exciting technology. WebDex, trust me, this is gonna be like our holy grail technology. This is like a flagship tech developed, provided by Komodo, and I can't wait like to roll this out. And we're getting close, right? When I say we get the 0.5 out and then we'll shift focus towards WebDex, it doesn't mean we haven't already worked on it, right? Right now, I can launch a DEX instance in my web browser. I'll enable various cryptocurrencies. I'll connect to a native blockchain network from within my web browser. I can check my balance. I can deposit and withdraw coins from there. This is where we already are, right? Like, so we've done like heaps, huge steps like towards this goal. And I'd say towards end of this year, so towards Q3, Q4, we'll really like have stuff that actually you and the end users can start playing with. And this is like something that excites me like super. I guess you can hear like my excitement around this topic, right, Julian? I'll give you just like a bit of breath.
Definitely. Yes. No, take a breath for a moment, CA333. That is incredible. And yeah, this is, I mean, wow, the mind-blowing. Definitely can hear the excitement in your voice, and it's palpable for sure. Hey, there's Polycryptoblog. Welcome, Polycryptoblog. Thank you for being here and taking the time to share in this half-year update. Yeah, how you doing? We've got a lot of excitement around, and there is PTYX. as well. We're getting double team, tag team here. Thank you both for being here. And we want to hear more. So why don't you bring us in? We're at that very beginning part about what's coming. We want to hear a little bit about these KMD use cases and just basically the business development side of things. Welcome, John.
Hey, thank you for having me. So yeah, we have some updates, just in business in general, but first we'll talk about some the KMD use cases. So this has been one of the things that the community has really, been hammering us about. Currently Komodo's main use case is through its delayed proof of work mechanism. However, that's really not user friendly. Not everybody needs a chain, let alone to secure it from 51% attacks. So we've been brainstorming different ways to get Komodo more, accessible to the everyday user. So we have 4 ways, that we've been discussing. So one is we'll start with the buybacks. So we are developing mechanisms of external revenue sources, as well as we are planning atomic DEX fees to buy back Komodo off of the DEX itself. So this has a twofold benefit. So one is that there's constant purchasing of Komodo off the markets, and as well will increase the volume of the DEX. Another idea that is going forward is a discount on fees. So currently there's like a 1/777th taker fee on the DEX. We're going to discount that by a certain amount if you elect to pay the fee in Komodo. We're also investigating using Komodo as a completely optional fee, which will have the effect of reducing the trade costs of high transaction fee pairs, such as like Ethereum and Bitcoin. Then we have liquidity incentives that are that we are working on currently. So how this, with the idea that we are looking forward, is a way to kind of mimic the automated market maker exchanges, but through our order book platform, and have a way for liquidity providers to essentially compete to match these orders with essentially like a guaranteed profit attached to it. This should solve a lot of liquidity problems, because the average user will actually be taking the role of the maker. So every time somebody places the order, it appears on books, then the liquidity providers act as taker, fulfill it, and so on. So this is kind of like the inverse of how things are going currently. Let's see. There's also multi-chain coin ecosystem projects. So one of the things that all cryptocurrency projects try to do is to bring users in to their platform and to use it. So it's kind of like a situation we're all fighting over the same piece of pie. So one of the things we plan on doing, we have started on the BSC style, BSC chain, with creating a BEP20 of version of Komodo, is to start accessing these third-party ecosystems and incorporating our coins in these different mechanisms, then utilizing that to drive more use and volume our way. So regarding like these things, these are just like the main pillars of things that we're working on. We also are working on different partnerships and such that Charles can talk a little bit more about.
Hi, everyone. So one of the things that we've been working on, as Jason said, are partnerships. More specifically, projects building on the Komodo platform. And we're very, very eager to talk about this. In the coming weeks or months, there will be an announcement from a project that has been working on building something out on the Komodo platform and also on the Atomic DEX network for the better part of the year. And it's a pretty major development just because it's a real use case of the technology for blockchain creation, blockchain security, and also a very good validation of the Atomic DEX network as a whole. I think that's probably one of the biggest things that we've been working on. And, we have to thank the development team who's been working hand in hand to make this happen. Also the marketing team and the obviously business has been doing a lot of liaison in between the project. But there's going to be, we can't announce specifics as of right now, but it's definitely, I think, one of the most major developments that we've seen on the platform. Some other things that we've been working on the background on the business side has been grants. We've applied for several grants for development. We've landed a few of these, mainly around the Atomic DEX. So that involves integrations into the DEX and basically compatibility integrations for different types of coins. We're actively reaching out to projects to integrate new coins into the DEX. We've recently, with this whole Upbit stuff that happened, we've actually made a certain push to integrate some of these coins into the DEX, which we already did. They have not been announced because we're still working out the announcements, but some of the coins that were delisted from Upbit actually are already integrated into the Atomic DEX, and they will be pushing out, their announcements in the coming week or so. And another thing that we've been working on is the push or the sale of branded DEXs, and I think this is a very important topic, because the Atomic DEX, unlike, for example, Uniswap or SushiSwap, that are somewhat, they're like islands. Basically, they work within their own ecosystem. With the Atomic DEX, what we're trying to do is there's going to be several versions of the DEX available that are running on the same network. So they will have shared liquidity, shared benefits for the Komodo ecosystem. So we will see multiple variations of the Atomic DEX technology being used by different companies, by different projects that work together, to share liquidity. And obviously, ultimately, that will benefit the Komodo holders, that will benefit the ecosystem as a whole, even if they are branded to a different project. Over the past few months, we've been working with the marketing team to develop and create documentation around business use cases. So basically, the business website has been optimized. We're now taking care of creating visuals and one-pagers and pitch decks to basically sell the technology. We have had quite a bit of success with the sale of Atomic DEX technology. And when I say sale, it's really important because the networks are decentralized and the projects are decentralized projects, but some of the tech can be sold, and we've actually proven that this case works, and it creates revenue for the Komodo platform, creates revenue to keep development going. So we've basically just made a push to make it easier for projects that are reaching out to us to understand what we're offering, and for also us to actually make campaigns to reach out to either try to sell them on the Komodo blockchain security, blockchain creation, blockchain migrations. Some unique use cases for the Atomic DEX are the bridge use cases. So for example, now that we have Binance Chain, we have Ethereum, and there's native projects that have launched tokens on these ecosystems. The way that the users migrate from one ecosystem to the other have become centralized. So for example, the Binance bridge, just one example of them. There's actually companies offering these bridges where you have to give up custody of your funds to these companies. So with the Atomic DEX, one unique use case is building a branded bridge that is fully decentralized. So the projects will not have to give over custody of the funds. They basically will have a native bridge that acts like a wallet as well, where the user would let's say I launch a coin and now I launch a token on Ethereum and I launch a token on Binance Chain. Now I can go between the ecosystems and I control the liquidity as a project. I don't have to hand over my keys. So that's a really unique use case to the Atomic DEX that we're baking documentation around and really pushing that to sell it, to literally sell it as a branded DEX, and it creates revenue for us. It also creates liquidity for the network as a whole. And one of the final things that we've been working on with Jason and with with the development team and basically the whole Komodo team is trying to build use cases for the Komodo token, utility for the Komodo token. One thing I would like to touch on, when Komodo was developed, when we envisioned it around freedom, and that freedom meant freedom of everything. So it was like the total opposite of Ethereum, where you are dependent on the coin. But in retrospect, that's really what creates drive for that coin to be purchased and held. So we want to find a balance where Komodo is still used within all of the tools that we built, so that it does create the need to actually own Komodo and hold it, and it creates buy pressure for Komodo, but without enforcing it to a point where we basically become what we were trying to, build something to try to get out of. So yeah, I think the use cases for the Komodo coin are going to be very interesting, especially once we have enough liquidity on the DEX that users are actually going to be seeing rewards for either holding the Komodo coin or participating in liquidity in the Atomic DEX. There's use cases that we've discussed of integrating options trading into the Atomic DEX, which is like a whole new type of trading that would actually have premiums paid in Komodo. So things like this, we're still, I think we're taking baby steps towards that, but we want to find a balance where the Komodo coin is being used. There's going to be a need to hold the Komodo coin, a need to actually, whether it's having it in your wallet to get lower fees or having it in your wallet to get rewards. We want to have a balance, but not enforce it to the point where we become another Ethereum again. So yeah, I mean, those are the things that we've been working on. Obviously, there's a lot more going on in the background that meets the eye. But I'm very happy. I've been with Komodo since the beginning. I was around the channels before Komodo was even Komodo. It was Bitcoin Dark. So what we see now is completely night and day from what it was even a year ago. And I'm very, very proud of the development team to see the Atomic DEX, where it was to where it is now. There's just a few things that we really need to work out to make it probably one of the leading DEXs around, and one of those things is liquidity tools, which have been working on. We're about to release the team is working on releasing the web DEX. So basically, an Atomic DEX that runs on a web browser. That's another very closer step to becoming like some type of like MetaMask for trading. So again, a lot of things happening, and yeah, I just want to thank everybody for being here. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out.
Yeah, wonderful. Wow. If anybody doesn't need to listen to that again, then you have really good attention and retention, because that was just a lot of information. We could spend 3 hours minimum on all of those things you said and just start really just scratching the surface. There's so much there. I think what might be helpful before I ask any specific questions might just be like a quick little snippet recap. Maybe a Polycrypto blog, you can take that one for a moment and give Charles a moment to just catch his breath. But just like a quick recap, a few bullet points that you really want us to take away from all of these things that you've said. How's that?
Sure. Yeah. So like a quick summary. Okay. So basically it's that, we are planning and building out Komodo use cases. We're reaching out to third-party ecosystems for branded DEXs, for integration of the Komodo coin. We have some partnerships and such, some that came from the Upbit delisting that will be coming on to Atomic DEX here soon. Also with some other players. Unfortunately, we can't announce that just yet, but we can say a large. So here's the thing that this project, we have a large energy company not looking. Actually, they're building with us currently, as Charles mentioned. He didn't mention they were an energy company, but yeah, we can tip that out. It'll be out here soon enough. So there's a lot of things in the works. Also, different use cases. Charles mentioned the options, but really want to touch on that point is that the atomic swaps in its current set, like I definitely see it being more geared towards derivatives and such in the future. It just has the way the mechanism works is perfect for that type of transaction. The biggest issue people typically have with atomic DEX is that the swap portion takes a little bit of time, but that doesn't matter in a derivatives contract. They just want to make sure it's completely settled. And that's something that these third-party platforms that utilize proxy tokens don't do. Like, you might complete your transaction on that third-party chain, but you only receive a proxy at the end. And that's not it's not a good thing, but it's also unacceptable to players who actually want to use crypto derivative transactions. So, there's a lot of stuff coming. Like Charles said, we're available to answer any questions. Just message us on Discord or shoot us an email.
Perfect. I'm glad you mentioned that last part too. That's right. Get in touch with Charles and Jason of Komodo Platform Biz Dev. And, before we hear any final recap from you, Charles, I would like to ask just a question. So you did mention a lot about the exchange situation and potential new partnership. And so that information is out there. And right now that announcement can't really be made officially. You talked about branded DEXs, and I would like to hear a bit more about that. But I would also, you did mention a bit about the notarization. So I would like to hear a little bit more about, the change from BTC to LTC. How might that improve onboarding process in that realm of things? You just talked to a whole bunch of projects from that delisting situation. Does that come up in conversations with them, or is it really centralized around the atomic DEX only? Any thoughts to share about that?
The topic of blockchain security usually comes around when we are talking about either a project wanting to launch a different chain, or we've had the case, for example, with Gleek, that they had a native chain and eventually they decided to migrate away from it to a Komodo chain. They had an issue with attacks, 51% attacks, and we actually integrated DPAL first, but their chain was very outdated. So they just said, hey, you know what? We'll go on a Komodo chain. They know that the code is secure, and it has the benefit of the delayed proof of work or the blockchain security. So usually it's not like a first thing that comes up, but there are projects, especially older projects, that either just don't have the hash rate or don't have the development manpower to basically keep up with so many updates and fixes. So that's usually when we sort of come over to either the topic of adding Komodo security as a bonus, or I usually bring up the topic of letting them migrate onto the Komodo ecosystem. With the upbit situation, it was since it all happened so fast, it was sort of spur of the moment. Some of the coins that were there were already available on the Atomic DEX. And it was just a very general email that we sent out to each project. I think out of the 24 of them, we got back like 8 emails. And then out of those, 4 were really interested. And out of those, 2 were compatible and were added right away. So there is a topic of sometimes the chains aren't compatible, but if they are compatible, then yes, we are, we've already done the first round of outreach and have integrated some of them. And it's important for some of those projects are really excited actually to get on Atomic DEX because they were some projects that were only listed on Upbit. So they're not even on any other exchange. and it gives them an opportunity to get on a DEX that gives them interoperability with other chains.
Perfect. Yes. So interoperability really is the name of the game these days, it seems like, with all of what's going on, and Komodo brings a lot of strength to that play. So wonderful. And in terms of Liz, we're going to be wrapping up this section, and really thank you for being here and sharing all of the informations. But however, and thanks for that little juicy extra bit there, Polycrypto blog. But yeah, before we sign out, maybe you want to just do any either recap or just something of significance around the branded DEXs. You've spent a lot of energy and effort and time within that aspect of things. Yeah, like just give us some sort of recap or something, another little, feed me a little bit, one more little tasty morsel, why don't you, before we get out of here.
With the branded DEXs, any project that is interested not only on a custom wallet for their project, because some of these projects are leveraging wallets from other providers like Trust Wallet, Coinami. So if you're a project that is interested in having a non-custodial wallet with your branding on it, with your development team behind it, you can use the Atomic DEX stack to actually build out your own branded wallet, non-custodial wallet, with the benefit that it is going to have the peer-to-peer swaps in it. So you basically have your own branded, non-custodial wallet with a DEX, and that gives your project the ability to have a little bit more control over the wallet that your users are actually utilizing to make transactions. And it gives you the benefit that now you're onboarded onto a full peer-to-peer decentralized network. Right now, the branded DEXs have a very specific use cases, which are for trading. But the way that it's built and the way that the API can be used, it can be used to build other things. So if you're a project that's interested either in just having your own wallet with the DEX capacities, you can use our stack to literally launch your own branded DEX within a month. Obviously, if it's a coin that's not supported, it might take a little bit longer, but you can go to market. I've developed my own wallet a while back. It was called Chameleon, and it took us nearly a year to get it to a state where it was usable. So with this, you can basically go to market in less than 2 months. Sometimes even we've launched them in 3 weeks. So it cuts down a lot of time. It cuts down a lot of cost. And then you can just basically be part of a larger ecosystem that is the Komodo Atomic DEX network.
Fantastic. And that's what Komodo brings to the table. And that is a great half-year update in my personal opinion. But of course, everybody has their own feelings about things. I look forward to hearing from the community and just see what happens, in these next coming days and weeks. But that's great news. And hopefully we can hear the official news as soon as possible, as usual. Hopefully that's sooner than later. But we understand, at least I understand that things take time. There's more than just one party involved, and there are NDAs involved sometimes, or just timing and other stuff, right? So, and things take time. 1 day, 1 month feels like years around here sometimes. So we understand that type of feeling. Business development is growing and is happening. That's what I'm taking away from this update from you. And there are some very significant angles which are only going to continue to gain steam and momentum. And so this is very exciting from my perspective. So thank you very much for these updates, and keep working strong and hard, and sleep as much as you need and no more.
I think it's important to mention. A lot of people don't know that Komodo actually has revenue streams. So a lot of blockchain projects they have no revenue streams. They have a huge market cap and whatnot, but they have no business model. And we have actually built out a business model that works. We've proven it works, and it's important because it gives us longevity. It gives us something to look forward to, and then it gives us also a lot of feedback of like, hey, this actually is working. This isn't working. Let's focus on this. So definitely, what you said about business development picking up, we have more people reaching out to us. We're reaching out to more people. And we will see, more branded dexes built on Atomic Dex Network and more chains being built on Komodo. And yeah, it's all very exciting. But like you said as well,
Yes.
we wish it would take one day, but it takes time to build out.
Yes, and just another word that's important that everybody knows is important: more liquidity. That's the big goal here too, is liquidity. So if you wanted to say one last thing about liquidity, and then we are for sure signing off of this segment. Thank you for your time and your candid responses.
No worries. Yeah, with liquidity, I'm one of the I think the most annoying voice when it comes to liquidity, because I know that what we need right now are liquidity tools. And when I see a tool where I can input liquidity into the Atomic Dex without the fear of impermanent loss, a lot of people don't even know what impermanent loss is, but the only reason people are exposing themselves to it is because they're getting rewards in Uniswap from other coins. Once that dies off, volume will die off in those dexes. So the Atomic Dex is actually built different. And I know that once we have liquidity tools that are easy to use in the Atomic Dex, and we have enough liquidity, we're not going to have to worry about any other exchanges either delisting us or anything like that. We're going to have our own real ecosystem where actually we're making revenue from. So every trade that happens on the Atomic Dex network generates revenue for the Komodo project. And it gives a little bit of freedom to the projects that are using it. So liquidity tools are coming. I don't know when, but I'm one of the biggest voices for them. I know the development team are working hard towards it. So when we get there, on the Atomic Dex, you will see something called simple mode. I don't know if it's available already, but I was testing it. It's beautiful. It's like Uniswap. You pick the coin you want, the amount, and you don't have to worry about anything else. So when we have something like that for liquidity, I know it's game over, and I'm really, really looking forward to that.
You made me want to bite my nails here in anticipation. This is amazing. Well, and in the chat here, CA333 is saying LP tools are coming soon. So on that note, Charles and PTYX Polycrypto blog, thank you for all the great work that you're doing, advancing, and you're available to us as we need you. So thank you. And on that note, we are going to move over to CA333, Kadan Stadelmann. Yes, awesome. And he is going to join us. Yeah, goodbye. He's going to join us and talk about the tech aspects of things, some bit more details into that. So as soon as he gets on up here, we are going to welcome him. Here he is. Excellent. So congratulations thus far, of course. Wow, I'm almost speechless. We heard about WebDex and we've heard of these things, but it's like just to hear these type of details from you just takes it to the next level, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely. And this is like a huge team working on it, right? If you look at this picture, these just like a few of our key tech contributors, but it's not all of them. This is maybe half the people that actually work on the technology. We've been scaling up the team non-stop, really restlessly hiring super skilled new developers, tech stuff. And we're still hiring. We're still in active recruitment process, not only for the DEX, but also for the Komodo core technologies, right? And on the Komodo core technologies, on the so-called Antara framework, right? On our own native smart contract technologies on the CC stack, we've rolled out key enhancement and optimizations over this year, specifically over the last quarter. And we've been collaborating with Tokel, right? Tokel is a project that's an exclusively endorsed and supported NFT platform built on top of the Komodo platform technologies. And these guys are doing a great job. So they're basically, building, a fully featured NFT platform where you're able to create NFTs, issue them, sell them, trade them, store them, and so on, right? Everything out of one hand, one place to collect, trade, and hold them all. And this is something that excites us extremely because this is not just a strategic partnership with the Tokel team, but this is also a collaboration partnership. So we're actually working super close. You could actually say it is it is like we are teammates. It is like they are part of Komodo and Komodo is part of Tokel, right? So this is like another like really big like enhancement, for our technology ecosystem. And I think it just like, provides this additional like use cases, but on top, it's like an amazing showcase on what is possible, because we've always said, with Komodo, you can build everything. And this is just yet another example on what third parties, what other platforms can create with this technology. And yeah, Tokel is something that really like excites me extremely. And yeah, these are like a few, like of these super exciting things. And
yeah, we're going to get into there's a few more, like exactly. And I would like you to, I will prompt you through a few of them, because there is so much, and you could probably tell so many details about each one. It's easy to hear your enthusiasm and appreciation about the Tokel project, what's happening there, and the integration, the cross communication. It feels like family. And to hear that there's been just an increase in developers and people working on all of these stacks and tools and all of this stuff, it just, as a user and as an audience member, I feel great hearing that. It gives me even more confidence in the process of what's happening here. So we're going to take, let's say, 1 to 2 minutes on each of these little subheadings. Is that okay with you? And I'll
absolutely, sure.
Perfect. Awesome. So the first one is the Komodo Core and Independent Smart Chain Medusa update. Is there something that you could give us there?
So the Medusa update did carry like a lot of enhancements, some fixes, like protocol enhancements on the Komodo Core. I'd say like the main, like really one of the major updates was actually like rolling out the season 5, the Komodo season 5 for the delayed proof of work algorithm, right? So we've basically like kickstarted a new season within the depot network. So this has been like just a few weeks back, we had like this hard fork rolled out. So we now have like 64 new not node operators running like the depot network. There are a lot of like that actually made it like from the last season. We had a few like that got like re-elected automatically, and this was more or less like the key update. I'd say it's like one of also the key enhancements on the Komodo smart chains is that the Komodo smart chains does have like the native CC stack in it. It's like an integral part, a fundamental part of the Komodo smart chains is the CC technology, the smart contract technology, if you want to put it like that. And on that side, we had like a lot of enhancements. I think one really of the, for me personally specifically, but from a tech perspective, I think also for the wider space and for all devs that are building on top of this stack, we're bringing this technology to the web environment, right? So we do have like a web CC. So we do have like a library that would enable you to create this, this smart chain, these CC transactions within a web browser environment, to also validate and broadcast them from within the web environment. And that's something that goes hand in hand with web decks, right? I mean, we do understand where the tech is heading to, right? In 5 to 10 years from now, no one's gonna have a laptop, no one's gonna have a computer, everyone's gonna like using web browsers on tablets, on smartphones, maybe on their like Game Boys or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, and we are preparing like for this like paradigm shift. We're making our technology just natively compatible with the most like popular technology environments, and that's the web, right? This means we'll get this to IoT, to mobile devices, even to wearables. This is where you're gonna get like Komodo smart chain tech. At the end of the day, you'll be able to use the Tokel, right? The Tokel platform, the Tokel project, the Tokel tokens, probably on your smartwatch, on your mobile phone, within your web browser. And this is like, this is like the key enhancements. We're adding like a lot of robustness. As you can see, one of the new faces here is John, one that you can see here on this list, right? Like a super skilled like C++ core developer who is literally refactoring like core parts of the Komodo core. Basically, like cleaning out stuff, enhancing it, improving it, optimizing it, together with Allright, with Dimitri, with Peter. They are just like, polishing like this tech that we've built over half a decade now. They are now giving it like this shine, right? It's like it was like a raw diamond, and they are now like making it shine and polishing it and so on, right? And yeah, super excited about it. And just as time passes, we'll be rolling out more iterations, and you'll see and feel all of this.
Perfect. Incredible. Yes. And then of course, yeah, then welcome John. And that's good stuff over there. You guys are always so hard at work, and it's good to you feel confident and comfortable in your hands, so to speak. You know, you are seeing ahead of time. This is great. So speaking of, you know, Charles, PTYX mentioned about branded dexes and atomic dex a bunch. Is there something more about like Komodo Atomic Dex API that you can share with us in terms of updates?
So I'd say, you know, with Atomic Dex or with reaching now this like stable release for the Atomic Dex GUI stack, we actually do see a lot of like third parties, you know, utilizing our technology actively to build on top of it. But even like furthermore, we do get a lot of like inquiries for the so-called branded DEXs, right? There are so many third parties that don't just want to use like the DEX or our DEX. They want a DEX, you know, that carries their theme, their corporate design, their icons, logos, their specifics, you know, like they want like specific customization, etc. At the end of the day, we're all using a unified liquidity pool. We're using the same order book network, but you can have like thousands, you know, of GUI applications. You can have like thousands of branded DEXs. We know like Dosh DEX, we know like Gliese DEX. So these are like just two of like dozens of DEX like branded solutions that are rolling out and coming and that we're actively working on. And to me, I believe with this major rollout and with doing the first steps on the web DEX, we're actually gonna see third parties build on top of the DEX, actually provide a branded DEX, but without us even knowing about it. We'll probably like, you know, like see it on Twitter or, you know, get like a support request for like some app that we never heard about that's actually using our technology. And this is, you know, this is like what makes me like so excited. This is like what we're like all waiting for. This is why we're like working so hard. This is the goal that we're working towards. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. And that makes sense, actually. You know, at some point, you're going to find out that somebody's doing exactly what you want to happen, which is to take this open source and run with it and make something up for their own, and it just interconnects and interoperates, interplays with each other. So well done with that, and thank you for that brief update. So just moving on to the next point is about the ZHTLT or ZHTLC and Artakush swaps. So this is a pretty major update that you talked about. I think we all recognize that it is, and if any of the audience doesn't realize, this is quite a technological advancement or step forward that would be taken for the entire industry. So can you speak a bit more to that for us, please, in some sort of updating fashion?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, you know, like, you know, privacy, you know, security and all these things, be like some of the main, you know, pillars of the Komodo vision, of the Komodo technology. We've always, you know, stood up like for privacy, and we think like this is like a human right, just like, you know, speaking in general. And Pirate is, you know, like the one and only like truly, you know, privacy token out there, right? It has like a mandatory, you know, privacy protocol. So you, as a user, you don't risk it, right, to leak data that could like, you know, identify you and so on, right? People just want to like, you know, privately trade. And the problem here is that the atomic swap technologies, or even like centralized exchanges, you know, that would provide support for these kind of trades, wouldn't offer you like a truly decentralized, trustless trading fashion, something that the Bitcoin OGs and the Pirate users do highly appreciate and need, right? This is something we've been asking for. And we sat together with like the Pirate guys, their team, and we figured, okay, like, you know, Atomic Dex is getting like robust, solid. We've reached like the first couple major, you know, milestones, and it was time to really extend the protocol support to, you know, bridge it over to the entire Komodo ecosystem. And one part of this, one key part, is of course the Pirate ecosystem, right? The Pirate community. We as Komodo, we were kind of forced to remove the privacy feature from Komodo because we have like exchange listings, contracts and this and that. You know how the ecosystem, how this industry kind of evolved, in which direction it got. They're all like have to follow AML regulations, this and that. So Pirate was a project that, okay, all right, Komodo was forced to remove it. We'll offer this technology. We'll give users and humans of this planet the right for privacy through this like technology stack. And we basically want to support and want to help this ecosystem stack by providing native like trading capabilities within the DEX for Pirate. And these are atomic swaps, right? Are basically, in simple terms, it would enable you, to trade with your, shielded funds, to use them to exchange, against any other cryptocurrency that's supported within the atomic DEX. So, I mean, this is like one, key milestone, not just like for us, but probably also like for the Pirate users and for the Pirate ecosystem. And yeah, this is something that's coming rather sooner than later. I personally think like within the coming, 1-2 months, we'll have like like the key milestone reached. And once again, this is not just like for the native support. This actually is also gonna like be covered on a so-called lite client support. So eventually, right, you'll be able to trade this even on your smartphone.
Wow, that is incredible news to hear about something like that. Maybe we hear rumors about these things carried around, but just to hear it in an official update like that is very powerful. And just, yeah, I think everybody is looking forward to this next step in the advancement of the peer-to-peer swap technologies that Komodo platform really pioneers, no doubt about that. And so well done to everybody who's working on that. Is obviously a big feat. Otherwise, it would have already been solved by now. And so it's also just a part of the natural evolution that's going on through Komodo platform. And yeah, kudos to everybody. Big respect to everybody involved in all of that. So that's another thing. So thank you very much for giving us that update. And although you could probably tell us a lot more about that, I do want to move on to just, you did mention already Atomic DEX, mobile, desktop. Are there any, you talked about stable beta 0.5, is there any feature or update that you just want to recap us on or give us some more information about before we move on to the next one?
Yeah, I think really like the key enhancement is the simple trading view here. Yeah, this one really, it's more, you probably know like, Shapeshift, Changely, this, I mean, even Binance, a lot of like these centralized exchanges have like kind of simplified trading view where you really just like pick a coin and choose the coin you want to transfer it over to, right? And just like the amount that you want to sell, and that's it. And this is literally it, right, from a UX perspective. But obviously, on the DEX, the mechanisms are like quite different, right? It's not like on a centralized exchange, because in a centralized exchange, it's just like some database entries that you like fetch, match against, and like write over, and that's it. But in the DEX protocol really has like to scan the order books, check, okay, actually, do we have enough like orders available to match like the user wish and so on? What's the best price? Will it be enough to match it against one order, or do I actually need like a couple orders to match the user will, and so on, right? So it's in the back end, it's a bit like a complex process that's taking place, but for the end user, it's just as easy as turning your computer on or off, right? So, and to me, this is like one of the major enhancements, but obviously this is not all of it, right? I mean, just like the polishing, the enhancements that flow into this, big shout out, to the entire team, specifically Tony, who's leading up like the entire like project management, product development and quality assurance on this stack. And this is like what we're gonna see like with the 0.5 release. This is like the sweat, the hard work, of 1-2 dozens, developers working restless on this technology, right? Artem Pikolin and his guys, Omar and Sergey, right? People have been like fueling this tech stack, for multiple years, and now we're starting to see this coming like to fruition, right? So this is super.
Amazing. And with that, you actually set me up for my next curiosity, which was about just what you're saying. You mentioned QA team, quality assurance team. So would you like to shout out anybody else, or would you like to just say the names again that you just said, and just give a more official shout out for them?
Shout out goes really to the entire team, right? I mean, everyone, Artem, Sergey, Igor, Dimitri, Abdurrahman, all right, John, Peter, Dmitry. I mean, I can't stop, Roman,
yeah,
Elias,
fair. And there are so many people
so
that I'm going to cut you there, because it's not fair if you can't just speak for hours about saying all the people. So I understand that, and we really appreciate everyone's effort. If your name wasn't said, you know what you're doing, and it sounds like the team CA333, you know what's going on there. And unfortunately for all of us on the other side, we don't always get to see you guys and girls and all the work that you're doing behind the scenes. And so just like from our own imagination, we have to imagine that you're all there working really hard and getting all of this stuff done. So thank you very much to all of you. And CA333, if you do want to mention one or two or three more names that you think are coming up to your mind that you do want to shout out, please go for it. But other than that, also shout out to JL777, of course.
Absolutely. Of course. Yeah. SMK, of course. Like everyone, the entire team, really like a big thank, from my end, Jcharming, like just like everyone, Zippy, sure. CPG, like one of the key infrastructure providers here on board. He's not like mentioned anywhere, but obviously he's like providing like a core foundational service to the Komodo platform, right? Running many servers, managing infrastructure providing and so on. And really like if I mean, we're gonna like do this like a tech dev team and Komodo team featurings. We want like to present, everyone who's working on this technology, who's like fueling this tech, working really restlessly. But as you know, we really spend so much time working, so we don't find so much time, to be on Twitter or do like these YouTube videos like all the influencers. But we feel we're getting like to a goal. We're getting like to a stage where it's less about like, actively, like building tech from scratch, right? Doing all this innovational work, but it's going to be more, maintenance, maybe a bit of extension, a bit of new features, fixing, polishing. And that will then give us the time, to do these community featurings. Audo is already working on it. We do plan to introduce every single team member of the Komodo platform. Short background. What's this guy or girl working on, right? What's the background? What are the hobbies of this person? Who is this person as a human, right? What's the values of this person, the vision, the ideological perspective, and so on. This is something Audo's already like working through, and he's doing this basically one by one, right? And I think he's planning to roll this out in kind of like smaller batches, kind of like department and project based. So that people will be able to see, okay, Atomic Dex API, Artem leads it, and we have like Sergey Omar coding it. We have Tony doing, like all the basically COO work, running all the day-to-day operations with all the guys, keeping the sheeps, I don't want to call them sheeps, no, keeping like the masterminds and the geniuses all well connected and linked together. And no, this is like super, super nice, like very exciting. Yuri, of course, our like mobile lead, and also like one of the main contributors to the web DEX itself, right? The guy who's like working weekends, nights, sometimes 3 a.m. I'll just like randomly wake up in my paranoia to check if all the servers still up and stuff, and I'll see him just like coding, pushing, and this is like what fascinates me, like that I do feel the people behind this tech, the people that are working on this, right? They take this personal, right? It's not just like just a job. It's not just like, okay, this is just like my work, and no, there is no emotional distance, right? They take this like quite personal, and this is like one thing that I thank them all like for, like, they make me sleep better, the last 2 years, 1 year, they make me literally sleep better, because I know the tech is in the right people's hands, right? And there's not just, the tech is trustless, but I have to say, I do trust these people so much, and I don't want this to be like trustless, right? The collaboration between us, it's fueled by trust, and this is like a very nice feeling, to know you have this backup, you have these people with you. We're pulling the same rope, right? We're working towards the same goal.
Excellent. Well, we're gonna just close it out, but before we do that, perhaps you can give us a re-announcement or a recap of the Atomic Dex web DEX announcement, and maybe more so with if you could help us understand when we might expect it, and more importantly, some sort of call to action, what we can do to be involved or to help out in that sense.
So with WebDex, we've now just like, scaled up the UI, UX dev team. So what we're doing now is a lot of like, conceptual work, just like on the actual user interfaces, user journey, from a tech perspective, stuff is being just like hammered out. It's just like coding it literally, right? Because we have the tech in place. It's like mostly, kind of like adding like the bits and bytes that make it like natively compatible in the web environment, right? I'd say we are past the proof of concept stage. We are past the prototyping stage, right? We're now working towards like an alpha, right? So you can definitely like expect something to put hands on towards end of this year. This is something like I'm super certain about. And that will be then like basically this call to action. We'll definitely, have like this user feedback collection, probably like a small, kind of like stress test also on that side, just like to see, how does it behave? How was the user experience? People happy with it, with the layout, with the design, and so on. And yeah, this is coming this year, like 2021. Just like be prepared like for an early release of the WebDex, and this is gonna be like the holy grail of DEX technologies, like in general, and Komodo tech in particular.
Oh, excellent. Right? Good stuff. Well, thank you so much for all of these updates. You've given us a lot to chew on, and I look forward to talking to you again at some point in the near future.
Thank you.
6 months does pass quite fast, doesn't it, though? And you guys are, you're always just right in it. And so it's nice that you can step away and share with us what's happening. We see it from the user experience, but to hear about the back end of it, it brings, for me at least, again, it brings more confidence, it brings more understanding about the process that you go through. And so yeah, really thank you a lot for being here and for sharing with us today all of this good stuff. Yeah, any final words there? I see here there's a question.
That's a question, yeah. I'll just like jump on it straight. So no, sure. There aren't any like security concerns, or at least there are not more security concerns than if you'd be running like a native application, or if you'd be running like the app on your smartphone, right? I mean, people like watch porn, to watch like any movies on their smartphone, and they use like for wallet operations, for trading operations. So it's not like less secure, because when we say WebDex, right, it doesn't mean that you're like gonna use a DEX environment. You're gonna like use like, like the trading environment from a centralized exchange, right? WebDex, this web actually just like stands that you as an end user will be able to access the decentralized and trustless DEX network from within your web browser. This is what the web stands for. It doesn't bring all these like security concerns that anyone else would relate to the web word, because I know if I read web somewhere, I'll be, oh shit, this is probably like some centralized service, and anything that I type in a URL, that's probably going to be like some JavaScript, app. And we know like some, all these centralized exchanges, how they function, how they work. It's basically a database. It's all like stored in one central place. But this is not the case with WebDex. With WebDex, you're really gonna run decentralized, standalone, peer-to-peer node within your web browser, right? You're just like gonna initially build up a connection to one of the Komodo servers, and from there you're gonna like fetch this decentralized application into your browser. It's the same as if you would install the Atomic DEX mobile app on your mobile phone, right? You just like download it from Play Store, from Google Play Store, or from the iOS App Store, right? But in this case, you'll be just like downloading from a Komodo server, right? There will be data integrity checks. They will be make sure that you're not like fetching something, shady, etc. And just like whoever asks these questions, just rest assured, it's not gonna be like insecure, and it's gonna be just as secure as any other like native application.
Excellent. Thank you for that candid response. And that was a great question, and I'm glad it was posted, because that's clearly a possible concern that a potential user will have, and you've addressed it well. And it shows that in the rolling out of WebDex, that will be something that the marketing team wants to really take a look at and make sure the messaging is clear and that those concerns are taken care of. So thank you very much, CA333. incredible updates, very exciting. And I'm going to send you off now. You're welcome to stick up here and hang out. Otherwise, yeah, thanks for being here.
Thanks, Juliano. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Take care.
Take care. Okay, great. Okay, so then thank you for CA333 once again. And thanks to the audience. You guys are still around listening. I hope that this is the type of value that you came for, and you're getting a lot out of this mid-year update, okay? It's been definitely a rough few weeks for a lot of the Komodo KMD lovers, let's say, holders, I think might be the more safe term. So yeah, we're going to move on now. You know, we just mentioned about the marketing side of things, and so that's going to be the third portion here. We're going to hear from the marketing team, from Audo. Jcharming is also here, and I know Artakush is around here. He's in the community chat at least, so a bunch of you are interacting with him too. Here's Audo now joining us for this 2021 mid-year update, June 30th. I'm ejuliano once again. You just heard from CA333. Earlier we had Charles and PTYX from the business development side of things. So if you missed any of that, make sure you check out those informations. And now we have Audo joining us from the marketing team, heading up this live stream. Audo, it's been these types of events. Firstly, do you want to just say something about it? You know, it's always a challenge when it's time to put on these kinds of events. I think the community is hungry for these kinds of events. I personally like them, and I do see that they have a good effect. So, yeah, did you want to just say hi and
yeah, hi, and indeed, that's the kind of the cost of running a live stream events. It's also have a lot of benefits, like that people like it live. I think we like to do it live. It's a lot of fun, but then anything can happen. Like today, we run into some technical difficulties, and they are hard to predict, and sometimes they just happen. And but yeah, continuously looking to upgrade or a live stream setup, and that there's still room for improvement. But I think we have been making a steady progress over the months.
Yeah, I would say so. I feel that way, and again, I'm biased, so you know you don't have to take my opinion. But thank you, Audo, for just you know being here and trying to put this together with the help of the rest of the team that worked on getting this together. I didn't mention Delton's name, but I'm sure he had a hand in the setup too. So what we're gonna do now is get more of an update surrounding the marketing efforts. Why don't you just take it away with a quick overview, and then we can get into some of the key points. How about that?
Yeah, sure. Gonna share just to first showcase a little bit about the marketing team today, and tell a little bit that have been also growing, like CA mentioned that the team is growing, like the dev team is rapidly growing, but so has the marketing team, and we have had some new hires recently, new people joining the team. Like last year, it was just me, Delton, and JC, and we also had VK helping on social media. But it was just us working, and then now all of a sudden, like there's a whole team, like all the new people. So there's been a great expansion, which has also brought in some challenges for us, or like in a good way, like just all the hurdles that come with the bigger team. But now everything's looking really good. Like we have a strong team. We pretty much cover, I would say, everything at the moment. We have what we need. So we have well, me, Audo, and then we had got Artakush to help the community building efforts, and Artakush hosting hangouts a few times per week, and we are having continuous calls with our community contributors to work with them. Then we have JC on the operations side, working like pulling out of the ropes and helping out. And then we have Delton, the content director, pushing out a lot of content and responsible for basically everything we write. We also have freelance writers helping us out, as well as community contributors. Then we have Bob, the art director, who's been a long time team member here. We have VK, the growth hacker on Twitter. We hired the SEO expert, Lidia. So we have put a lot more emphasis on the website and ensuring that we utilize that as it is a great asset. And we did an audit some months ago, and the result was that there's it's like basically like a gold mine, that we have a strong domain name, we have all the tools, so we are going to just optimize the SEO, push out a lot more content, and that is also why we launched the academy. Also a lot of great things happening content side and SEO. We have head of PR, Lindsey, who very recently joined the team. And also like our PR efforts are going pretty strong. Then we have the most recent member, Ramon, the concept artist, joined about, I think now a little over a month ago. And there was the video that we played at the very beginning that also got a good feedback on. So that was part of the effort we have been making. And the images were made by Ramon. So all credit to him. And then Marius N from the community back to animation and added some special effects to it. So Delton very good. And then yeah, we made the voiceover, and Artakush was the voice behind the video. And we want to do a lot more of these type of things, and we would like to work with the community. So we invite everyone to just get involved and join the Hangouts, join our contributor calls, and help us out to do some great content and get creative and get the message of Komodo out there. And
Nice.
I want to still stress that I mean, we are working with so many people, and kind of the line is being blurred, like who's part of the team and who's not. Like I'm not sure where the line goes. Like we also have Jack, for example, is working. He helped also with some of these graphics on this stream. And then he's working on the layout. Max, we are working to upgrade our visual style. And yeah, there are so many more. Like we have writers contributing. I think Artakush might tell us a bit more about the whole effort later on.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to hear from a few more of the team members. You know, well, firstly, thanks for that update and for the nice introductions for everyone there. Yeah, shout outs to those of you who worked on that intro video. Once again, great content, in my opinion there. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Just the visuals, it just brings up all of that good stuff. Majestic, for real. And then just the size of the logo, it just feels so right. Awesome. Well, anyway, aside from my commentary, okay, did you want to say something? Because I will ask you the next question, but go ahead, please.
Yeah, I wanted to invite Ramon today just to say hello before we move on.
Okay.
And introduce Ramon. Ramon is the concept artist that's been working with us.
Hi, Ramon.
Hey.
Hi, Ramon.
Hey, welcome.
Hey, nice to be here. Am I live? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. You're live, and I'm ejuliano. Audo's here, and why don't you just introduce yourself very briefly? Oh, hi, Raymond, and share a thought or two about the work that you did or have been doing.
Yeah, sure. So very briefly, I'm originally a concept artist, and been working on a lot of games throughout the years for Ubisoft and Crytek, and somehow, some way, I ended up here in this crypto world with you guys, and I must say it's been a lot of fun. So what I've been doing is basically been creating images that inspire and images that engage and invite people of hopefully all walks of life to engage with Komodo and be interested to see what's going on. And also based on Audo's feedback to hint at this metaverse or create a metaverse of some kind. So I'm very excited.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So you're very familiar with world building and creative artistry. So we're all excited to see more. You know what? I'm seeing some comments there, and people are seem to be really enjoying it. So we look forward to more from you, Raymond, and the rest of those of you who are working on this. Yeah, thanks very much. We're gonna, unless you have anything else that you want to say here, I do have a question for you, Audo. Audo, you know, the Komodo team, like the technology side of things, have been around for some years now. But in terms of like actually a marketing team, which you just talked about, you kind of head up let's call it a mastermind. Yeah, you've headed up this mastermind and been trying to coordinate and compile a bit more of an official mastermind group dedicated to the Komodo marketing efforts. So yeah, like, has it been easy? What's it been like? If you could just give us a brief sentiment about that so we can understand what it's been like, because I think it's important for us to understand that as a part of the community.
Yeah, we started, like, basically we have it's the great team spirit we have going on, a lot of ideas, like everything is team effort, like even the metaverse mentioned that originally that came from VK, the idea, and then it was taken down to our hangouts and we discuss it more, and we kind of identify the direction and then just try to move there. And one of the has been that we need some sort of more like human element to the design, and a lot of people have been telling us that Komodo is very technical, and we need to find a way to tell the story of Komodo, and to help us there, then we found Ramon as to kind of help us make some sketches, and let's figure out how could we get there. And also a lot of the team members like Artakush and VK have been on the same lines, like telling the same story, that we need to get more creative content, and I totally agree. Like it's just another side that Komodo has never really tapped into, like producing that type of content that appeals to the general audience. Like it's been already always very technical marketing to more like towards businesses, and we still like, we of course need that one, but we also need to do, as an open source project, we need to tell them like what we are doing and what is our purpose and why are we here. So that's been like the question I've been asking a lot, like for all the time, like how do we tell this story? And it's like kind of nailing it all down. It's a lot of work. It takes a lot of time, and even the voiceover we made, it took us several days to make, like making short script. It's not that easy. Like and I think it wasn't easy because we were trying to do it also for the first time. So we just went on a call, sit down, like how do we do this, and try to brainstorm. And but so it's all what we have been focusing on building up processes and structures. And we do something for the first time, then we try to think, how can we repeat this the next time, or how can we make this easier to do, and kind of document and try to acknowledge like what works and what doesn't work. And we've been doing that with the events a lot, with the live streaming. So it's like every time it's becoming easier, and the next big thing now is the creative content, getting there. Like I think,
yeah. Like
it
just sounds like what you're talking about. It really is bringing the brand awareness and brand marketing really to the forefront of the messaging on the marketing side of things. And yeah, with those kinds of visuals, it just there's a good feeling of uniqueness there, and really the character of Komodo is coming out through that work that you guys are doing. So what I'm getting from what you said, if I could just recap that, is that it's taken you some time to put together a team, even just figuring out what are the needs that our Komodo is having in terms of marketing, in terms of then it started to be like, okay, brand awareness, brand marketing, getting the messaging out, and now you've found key individuals who can come together and collaborate to produce something like that introduction video that you mentioned, including all the artwork and the scripting and voicing. And so, yeah, we definitely, as a community, we look forward to more of that. And thank you for sharing with us that it's not easy, but as you continue to do it, it becomes more streamlined and better. So that's great. Thanks for all your efforts. All right, Audo?
Yeah, I actually have one more thing I could share just on the high points of like what's coming in marketing. So I made this quick roadmap graphic.
Perfect. Go for it,
thing, but gets the job done here. So like Anna, so we've been working on, we continue to work on this processes to create consistency and scale with the goal of being able to work more with the community at the end. Like that's been the goal from day one, that we need to be able to pull in people into teams and allow them to learn and work with us. And I think we are slowly getting there. Then we have the creative content, like we already discussed. That will be a new focus for us for the second half of the year. We are also preparing and making some events and conferences. We already do them on live stream, but now we are going to make one on-site, an actual conference event in Miami at the end of August. So I will also can set the dates here.
Hold on to that thought. We'll get to that at the end. You can give a dedicated mention about that if you don't mind.
Okay.
You can run through the others and then we can get.
All right, and then we are looking to do some sort of, we'll be looking to referral programs and referral campaigns that we would like to boost the electrumx downloads. So we're looking to do something there soon. And yeah, just community workshops. We want to work more with the community, brainstorm some ideas, especially related to creative content. So that's the short summary of the next 6 months of what we are focused on.
Great. Okay, so now we definitely want to hear about this Miami information. Miami conference, you said end of August. Can you give us more on that, please?
Yeah, so the dates are August 29th, Sunday, and August 30th, Monday. So basically the last days of August. It's going to be in Miami. We have a name, but we don't want to give out too many details yet. We are still working on the details, and it's also advertised by our peer agencies that let's not say too much yet. So, but we have been planning this for some time now, and we are now reaching out to speakers. We are also preparing to reach out the entire Komodo ecosystem, and we want to make this a great event and really like showcase the power of the Komodo ecosystem and all the communities involved. As well as we want to make, I guess, a unique event and have a kind of interesting angle. But I think we will discuss more about what the conference is about when we have the full info to be released. I think there's somewhere there, I think we put to the description somewhere, like there's a newsletter sign up link if someone wants to stay informed. So we will send the email as soon as we have the details to release.
Excellent. Well, thank you. So that's a Sunday and a Monday, end of August, the 29th and 30th. We can expect to have a live in-person Miami conference for Komodo. Do we have anybody who is confirmed to be there yet, or is it really so new that we don't even know specifically who will be there?
There's no one yet to announce.
Okay.
Like I think there might
in
be
terms of like,
some
will
people
you be there?
are getting confirmed. There's like there's no hard confirms. The last update I got, okay. But there's this. There are interested parties.
Okay, cool. No, yeah, that's great. No worries. I'm not asking for third-party involvement or anybody who's like that. I definitely not. We're just, I'm just curious to know if maybe you're going to be there or.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like
I'm hoping to be there. Yeah, and
awesome.
Hopefully a lot of the Komodo team is there as well, and
awesome.
the community,
okay, good.
and the ecosystem.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, I guess we will hear more about that as in the coming days or weeks. So I'm looking forward to that announcement. All right. So is there anything else? Did you want to give a quick recap or anything you want to make sure that you say about that Miami conference update, or are we good to go from here? And then we'll move on to Delton.
Yep, that was from my part. I will let others jump in here, give the updates. Thanks a lot for ejuliano.
All right, thank you, Audo. And so yes, we are going to move over to hear from Delton, the content director, and banging out all kinds of blog posts. And so Delton, once he shows up here, is going to share with us some updates about what's been going on his side of things, writing a lot about the news, and just keeping his ear to the ground, so to speak, you know, just trying to make sure he's aware of all of the happenings so that he can create some content around that. And yeah, so Delton is here. Hello, Delton. How's it going? And you know what? You've mentioned you've been building a lot of new content with Komodo. So why don't you just share some updates surrounding that for us?
Thanks, ejuliano. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things to talk about in terms of Komodo content that we've been doing so far in the first half of 2021. But the things I want to cover are the blog, the email newsletter, and the Komodo YouTube channel. So in terms of the blog content, we now have two places where you can find various blog posts. So one of them is a Komodo blog. There you're going to find the monthly previews where you find out, like, you know, what the marketing team is working on, the different events we have going on with the community. But also we have a lot of different posts. So we have different reactions to things happening in the blockchain industry, such as various hot topics like reaction to Bitcoin 2021 conference and what El Salvador's adoption of BTC as legal tender means. And we also have commentary about, just like things like when all of the major centralized exchanges, or at least a lot of them, crashed a few weeks ago. Like we had a reaction piece talking about how Atomic DEX has 100% uptime, and just like the benefits that has for traders and hodlers, and just like general crypto enthusiasts. And also on the blog, we have all kinds of different content related to things like the latest release of Atomic DEX. So we're always talking about the latest release there, the new features, enhancements, bug fixes, and like screenshots and content talking about like the latest release, as well as different announcements. So like recently we had an announcement about the hard fork and just like having details about how to update the Komodo daemon. So that's kind of like our official news center there for Komodo. But now we have a lot of content on Komodo Academy. So Komodo Academy is kind of like our educational platform for blockchain and crypto content. So there you're going to see blockchain fundamentals, coin guides, and developer guides. So I've recently been working with a few community members on expanding blog content here on Komodo Academy. So you can see a coin guide here as an example. You can see a developer guide here as an example, and you can see a blockchain fundamentals post here as an example. So this is kind of like long form content. I would say it's definitely helpful information for anyone that just wants to learn more about blockchain. I would say like it's definitely for beginners, but also it's for people who are experienced in blockchain, experienced in crypto, but might want to go more in depth about certain topics, certain projects, certain technologies. So yeah, we're really excited about where we're going with the Komodo Academy and all the content that's being posted there. Yeah, next up is the email newsletter. So at the beginning of 2021, we took a new strategy with this. Previously, we were releasing a few emails. It was mainly just like one email per month with occasional emails. And that was mainly just a recap of what we had going on, from the previous month. But we've kind of changed that throughout 2021. So in addition to having like the regular monthly recap, we also have a monthly preview. So we have kind of like both of like, a review of what everything we've been doing for the previous month, but also like what you can look forward to, what you can get involved in as like a community member. And we also send regular emails, such as like reminders about events. So yeah, just like how the community can get involved, and kind of like timely email reminders about things we have going on, different live stream events, everything like that. And that's been doing really well. For instance, like this June preview email, I believe, was like one of the highest open rates for any email we've ever sent at Komodo. It was like 49.1% open rate. So we definitely have had a lot of success in terms of not only getting like new subscribers, but just like getting people interested in opening the emails, getting them to click through, find the links, find useful information about how they can learn more about Komodo, but also get involved in different community activities. And the final thing I really want to highlight is a Komodo YouTube channel. At the beginning of the year, we decided to really expand the content with the Komodo YouTube channel. And I think that's really taken off like throughout 2021. So I believe at the beginning of the year, we had a little over 1,000 subscribers, and now we're almost to 2,000 subscribers on the Komodo platform YouTube channel. And we're continuing to upload new content every week. So as you can see here, one of the big things we have on the YouTube channel currently is Komodo Thursday Town Halls. So if you're not familiar with these are basically just like community updates that we have weekly. They're kind of very short videos where we cover everything that's going on with Komodo, from what's happening with the blog, what's happening with PR, community updates, marketing updates, what's happening on Twitter, various tech updates. So this has like been a really good format that we have, where we're able to communicate with the community more about like what we're doing and the direction we're taking in the marketing, and also the tech as well. And we're just continuing to expand this content. For example, at the end of May, we had the first Komodo project update. So that was really successful, and that's something we're kind of expanding here with the half-year update. So yeah, we're just looking to keep everybody informed about what Komodo is working on and all the exciting things coming up. And we're just looking to expand the Komodo YouTube channel a lot further, adding more creative content, more engaging content about specific topics, different tutorials, just all kinds of different things. We're also adding a few videos related to Komodo Academy. So like for instance, if you go to a Komodo Academy, you might find a few posts there that not only have written content, but also have a video along with them as a guide to kind of walk you through all the educational content. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for me with the content. I'm just really excited about where we're going the rest of the year. And yeah, thanks.
Great. Okay, well, thank you, Delton. And we look forward to hearing from you again and continuing to read all that great content you're putting together for us. Awesome. So definitely check out the blog, Komodo platform. Okay. So now from here, we're going to move over and let's hear from Lidia surrounding the SEO. Hello, Lidia. Are you there, or are we hearing a video from Lidia?
Hello. I'm Lidia, responsible for the Komodo platform search engine optimization. First thing to mention is that we are now moving to the second level of Komodo platforms marketing, especially from SEO perspectives. During the past month, we were working on the migration of the blog section, and now Komodo is now the Komodo blog is available from the main domain. Second thing to be noted, the huge part of the website content is now available to the users and Google bots. Technically, the health of the website has been improved a lot. The aim is to have Google-friendly site that can bring a lot of organic and targeted traffic. Thus, we have divided the website marketing into two pillars, which include SEO with its technical on-site features and content marketing. Going ahead and talking about content marketing, I want to say that along with the other marketing strategies, we are doing an in-depth content marketing as well. We are constantly working on creating content hubs, which means I mean cluster contents. This gives us opportunity to cover the topics that the readers, the blockchain, let's say the blockchain community is mostly interested in and would mostly like search for and most likely search for and proceed with reading in our platform. Along with the new content, we are updating the old ones, making them evergreen and interesting to readers. We are making sure that the old content is SEO-wise optimized, is targeting the right keywords internally and internally is properly linked, etc. Thank you.
All right, and thank you too. So that was Lidia, who was sharing about some of the SEO updates for us, okay, surrounding all that. So that's good. Nice to hear your voice, Lidia. Thank you for sharing that information with us. All right, and now we're going to move over and hear a little bit more specifically about the PR and media from Lindsey. All right, so when Lindsey shows up here on the screen, we will know that it's time to hear about that. Here it is. Oh, Lindsey, are you live? You are live. Hello, Lindsey.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hey, hello. Yes, we can hear you. Nice. Thank you for being here.
So here are the results of our PR efforts for Q1. We've been working with Yak Global to secure these media placements. Overall, we had 34 pieces of coverage during the quarter, and the combined readership of the publications we were featured in was 1.15 billion. The estimated coverage views for the articles we secured was 2.9 million, and the pieces had over 3,000 shares on social channels. There were also 9 links to the Komodo website included in the articles, and the average domain authority of the publications we were featured in was 65. So some really great stats here and some big readership figures, which is great. And here are some highlights from the first quarter. So we had the news about the Atomic DEX launch covered in Cointelegraph, and news about the Doge DEX launch covered in CoinDesk and also Yahoo Finance. Expert commentary from Kadan was also featured in Cointelegraph and Finder. So just really great to see our news being featured in top-tier crypto publications and Kadan sharing his expertise about what's happening in the crypto space as well. So moving on to Q2, we secured 25 pieces of news coverage in the quarter, and the publications we were featured in had a combined online readership of 571 million. The articles we secured had 1.5 million views and were shared over 2,000 times on social channels, and the average domain authority of the publications we were featured in was 53. So highlights for the second quarter were the news about Gleek launching their decentralized atomic swap exchange, with Komodo being featured in Yahoo Finance. Kadan also authored an explainer piece in CMC Alexandria, all about initial DEX offerings. We also had an op-ed by Kadan featured in Cointelegraph about the need for updating blockchain security protocols, and more expert commentary from Kadan featured in publications like Market Insider and Finder. So some more great results there from the second quarter for both project news and positioning Komodo as thought leaders. So looking ahead, our PR goals for the second half of the year are to focus on increasing brand awareness for Atomic DEX API as the flagship Komodo offering, really positioning Komodo as leaders in atomic swap technology, and also driving that bigger narrative of unifying the metaverse. So lots of great things achieved in the first half of the year, and we're excited to continue these efforts going forward.
Well done. Yes, thank you, Lindsey, very much. That's a great update. It might not sound very big of a deal, but I think it is. You mentioned about positioning Komodo as a thought leader, and that definitely fits with its pioneering ethos. And so, do you want to just maybe off the cuff here, as so to speak, off the top of your head, do you want to just give us a little bit more about that aspect of things? You're actively taking that role. You're trying to position Komodo, and you're doing it through all the channels. Is there anything you would like to just share about that to top it off for us?
Yeah, so obviously, whenever we have project updates, that becomes great opportunity, PR opportunities to get the news out there about what we're doing. But, the secondary layer of that is really, the thought leadership piece of positioning us, as leaders in the space of specifically in atomic swap technology, and also, as mentioned, driving this bigger narrative of unifying the metaverse. And so the ways we're looking at doing that are really jumping on, newsjacking opportunities. So when there's something in the news that's breaking, positioning ourselves as experts so the media can come to us for expert commentary. So anything, remotely associated with atomic swap technology, we're going to be jumping on. We're also going to be thinking about ways to, topics we can cover in thought leadership pieces as well around these topics, thinking about how we can talk about the metaverse, other topics around, atomic swaps to really just, build this out and making sure that Komodo is becoming synonymous with these topics. We've talked about, doing research pieces on these, just, thinking about a variety of, PR tools we can use to really drive these narratives and being the thought leaders in the space.
Excellent, Lindsey. Thank you for that. And I imagine this is not what you're normally used to doing. Joining live streams and speaking about all of this stuff. So you're doing a great job, and thank you very much for being here to do that with us live. And we really do appreciate it. Look forward to further success. You talked significantly about Q1, and you talked about Q2. If there's anything that you missed or you think you missed, now is a great time to share it. But you seemed pretty thorough through all of it. So that's about that. If you have any final things to share with us today, or say your goodbyes, and then we will move on to the next topic.
Yeah, I think that covers everything. Just looking forward, we're excited to get the word out about the Miami conference and just all the other exciting project updates where we'll be very keen to announce, and then just looking forward to driving these other narratives as well. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you too. You did a great job, and I'm glad that you mentioned about the Miami conference, so that even more sharing. The PR is going to be working on that end as well. So Miami conference, here we come. That sounds very exciting. All righty. Well, there goes Lindsey. Thank you again. And we are going to move over now to Artakush and Jcharming. They're going to come on over, and they're going to share about some of the community happenings. Here's Artakush. Hello, Artakush.
Hey. Do you hear me, guys?
Hello. And there's Jcharming. Yes, we can hear you, Artakush.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. We can hear you too. So welcome to the both of you. And I hope you're taking something away from this. You already had the insider perspective before the live stream, but it's always a little bit different once it's happening. So we're going to just move right into it. You guys are here to talk about the community and the growth hacking involved in the community. So the main takeaway here is bridging the team and the community and working together. Take it away.
Yeah, I've got major props for Artakush coming in and stepping up to be a community leader and manager here. Like, it was just, we're always so strapped for time during the first half of the year, and Audo talked about all this wonderful team expansion that's been going on. Like, I know we just heard from Lidia, who is our dedicated SEO person now, and Lindsey, who is this fantastic dedicated PR person to be able to be liaison and working with stories, which lets Delton focus like more on the content and blog building, and lets like Audo focus more on the direction and story, and has like let me move more to like looking at pipelining and operations and like what are things that like a successful marketing department needs and how fast can I make them and scale them up. And this liaison to the community has always just been this like major pain point. And Artakush just shows up, and one of the original OG interns from Auto's internship in 2020. That's where I came from as well. Just like showed back up and was like, "Hey, everybody, I'm here to fix it, make it all better."
Dividends. Yeah, paying dividends. That internship continues, eh?
Nothing to talk about by the end. You're gonna finish.
Oh yeah, go ahead. I'll hand it over to Ardo to talk some about the growth hacking and stuff. It's just great. It's great. These community contributors and all kinds of things going on.
Vice versa. The most beautiful community that I could ever engage since the 2016-17s, right?
Artakush, I'm going to stop you there. I'm just going to ask you to speak louder, just so we can hear you loudly and clearly. All right. Yeah. See, yeah, in the chat. So keep going, but just with a louder tone, please. Thank you.
Do you hear me now better?
Much better. Thank you.
Okay. So yeah, thank you for the praises and shit. I think that besides everything that you guys talked about and the massive technology evolvements that we're doing throughout the half of the year that we just passed, the main takeaway from me as I entered the community, as I followed what Audo did after the internship and also during the last half a year, is to bridge the team and the community and get us working together. I think the internship was one of the first things that we got going, and we got a great amount of people that started working with Komodo. And also, since the beginning of the year, Audo started the community contributors calls and also the hangouts. And I think when I joined, we expanded that, and we really tried to get to the core of the community and have the personal experience with everyone personally, and have the best of it, and listen to them, and have the ideas kind of fulfilled and on their ends. Just really quickly, I really want to say a small shout out to Daybreak, Nev, Marius, and Tom T, Minigunner, the Latin community, Jamik, Deepanashu, quite a few more, Exile. I bet I'm missing a lot, but I do want to get to know you better and see how we can make the community vibes and the creative content that we're kind of trying to reimburse in the last half a year better. Thank you for your feedback. That's one of the things that I wanted to talk about. I think that another thing that we established is, as I call, small traditions, such as weekly updates that we established with Audo, such as the topics for the Hangouts, so we can know already beforehand what we can talk about, and people can kind of prepare themselves what they're gonna hear about. So besides that, we're getting all this information from the community itself, and we make up a new rooms for them as a writer's room, where this new creative content is just flowing, and feedback between and communication between the community itself. It shows that you can make this kind of autonomous volunteer behavior incentivized by just the skills that they have, and maybe the boundaries that we can distribute through them. So that's a huge thing. That's a really big thing that I really want to stress.
Yeah, good. I'm glad you stressed that. Good.
Another thing I think is a cool thing that we're gonna come up is the upcoming Komodo merch store, and the absolutely booming social media channels spinning up to the maximum. I think that's something that JC can talk about, and we're gonna have some flashy data for us.
All right, yo, Artakush, thank you. This is incredible. You've been
absolutely.
you've been noticing, yeah, I've been noticeable the effect you've had. I feel like it's brought more cohesion, even more cohesion in terms of people feeling involved. That's incredible. Good work so far, and we look forward to continued, success through all of this. So yeah, you mentioned Jcharming. So here's Jcharming, and he's gonna give us some more details.
Oh yeah, we've got a so the like Artakush is saying, the community contributors are putting out all this work, and then we've got like all this work coming from our social media channels and all of our other audiences as well. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We'll see if this comes up just fine.
Yeah, it tends to take a moment before it pops up, and there it is.
Yeah, and the first thing that I want to share is this wonderful heat map. So we've got VK put this together for the to tell a little bit of the story about like what's going on with our like social media engagement and like where we're headed and what's happened like since Audo has stepped up with the marketing department. And we can see that like here in 2020, like there is like we even have some data missing for the atomic dex handle, but this is actual. You can see this, right? I just want to make sure.
Yes, I can see it, and
cool.
it looks great. Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah, we've got this wonderful heat map that's like showing like the stats and what's been going on. Like huge praise and props to Growthmaster VK that's been working the Twitter channels to get us presence and appearance everywhere else. That's, I don't know. I think that's a super strong one. And want to pull up some stats for the for our mentions and social medias. More positive mentions, more user-generated content. This is from like the first half of the year. This was stuff that we did not have access to or available, or wasn't just even on our boards for, as I understand it, like in 2020 and the previous years for Komodo. Like this is like the point in my mind, is that with a dedicated marketing department, the technology for Komodo can really shine and become easily accessible and easily adopted. And I would say that that the conversations around Komodo technology has become so much easier and more digestible too. Like I've totally like give that shout out to Artakush too. What do you think? Like you've been here for a little while too. Have you been feeling the conversation's been getting easier with the community contributors? And
I mean, the only thing that I can say that every time that I speak with the people, we seem to get to a notion where we can establish ourselves in a better position, let's say a week from now. So we both understand how we can help each other, and we both establish what kind of good things we can do to each other. And that's the only thing that we want to do is like show the ways and show that it's not only an airdrop system or scheme or some sort, but literally establish your own skills and portray that as a career path, because we are establishing and we are growing at this point, as CA mentioned, and only great minds can think alike, and let's get together and make this work.
Yeah, and there's absolutely something working here, right? There's like engagement is up over 10 times, like on Twitter, which is like our most major audience and the major crypto audience. Like we're an older project. We're in the same thing. We're in the same range as like Litecoin. We're established. We're not really going anywhere. We're going to be here for a long time. Like we're like we're not the show.
What I'm gonna say next,
What's that? What's that?
That's the community hangouts. They happen out twice per week.
That's right.
Times it's actually on Wednesday at 12 p.m. UTC. And the other time is just an hour before that Thursday town hall. By the way, I want to stress also that besides this update, tomorrow, Thursday town hall is happening at the usual time. We're going to have a hangout at 3 p.m. UTC. You must come there, and I hope you enjoyed the voiceover that I stressed for a couple of days to make together with a whole bunch.
Oh man, that voiceover was great.
Absolutely,
yeah, good job.
Like pull up all the ideas, and I just want to thank all the community that joined and shared their information, how we can make it better.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Good job. And that voiceover was really good. And I just want to just make another point that VK was making is that the profile visits are about 120,000 to 140,000 per month.
Per
So
month.
people are people
Yeah.
are paying attention, and so that's good. That's good.
So that invisible that
go on.
force, that volume force that arrives like before adoption is building up back there in the background. Like that's the
Bro
exciting thing
says
I
if
see.
I had a car, I would sell it and buy KMD.
Right? I've already sold your car. It's great.
All right. Yeah. Good stuff. Okay, it's good. So continue,
Artakush,
please.
yeah. Artakush talking about what's been going on in Discord. We've actually got some stats from the Discord stats board, and it's like we can see that the members within the Komodo Discord has like been rising, like due to this kind of like incentivized activation. Like it's great. Like and there's more of it too. So we've got the January through June Komodo events. Like there's that subscriber list that people like hop on to Delton's blog posts and be like, what's happening this month? And it's always showcased on the Komodo website. And we had like just around 150 people that signed up for like the January events. And then slowly and steadily, we've had more and more people signing up for events every time. These are like several hundred people that are like actually bothering to take the time to sign up for the events that like we're putting out there. Just like amazing. Reddit, which is being headed up by Churro, another one of the OG community interns that was wrangled in by Audo. It's like, you know, if Audo starts talking to you, you know, it's like you're going to wind up getting involved. It's absolutely nuts.
Nice.
The Reddit subscribers,
Churro.
yeah, he's been doing a great job getting activation on Reddit. What we've got is the blue bars is the similar months from 2020, where you can see like, you know, we were just hovering around like 8,500, barely maintaining, maybe going down a little bit. And then here we go in the red bars, January 2021, April 2021, June 2021. Like we're on the rise. Like we're engaging with the audience. We've got people there. We're getting those voices. And we've got the average user traffic snapshots from like the actual Komodo platform, like .com webpage. And like, this is something that's being built up. So our 2020 average itself was about well under 20,000. So, and then we started January 2021 with like just a little bit of a bump higher than that. Our whole time, like our average user visits from January to June for the first half of the year have already broken through that 20,000 on like a running 28-day average. And we have already had some major peak activity that occurred during April and May when like crypto was on like its major rise. And like our peak activity was just sub 60,000 visits like on the regular 28-day average. Like this is huge. Like Komodo gets to still be a part of the story. Like whatever we're doing here, there's stuff that's working. There's volume here that's coming in, and that's all I really have for.
Good to see those visuals. No, that's a lot. That's great to see those visuals. Great to see the growth. The obviously the impression is that that's not going to change direction. It's only going to continue evolving. This is just, you know, the beginning really of a conglomeration of efforts really starting to move forward. This is quite an exciting time. I'm feeling it, and those I can hear in your voice that you're very excited to see those numbers after, you know, you're in it day to day, so you know what the efforts have been. Yeah, did you want to just make a quick comment about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I ran into Komodo as a lurker like many years ago, and then Audo eventually hooked me in 2020 to do some work here. And I completely moved from the other industry and sector that I was working in to be like full-time dedicated here, which was a huge move for me. And I'm like, it's looking at all of this, like Komodo is one of the pure projects that is really just pushing for technology and development. And I love these kind of projects, no matter what sector you're in. You find whatever sector you're in, and you find out what project is just doing what that sector is about with no marketing and no bullshit. And you will literally get like the pulse of that sector. And Komodo has been that for years. So like, the like CA making a dedicated marketing department has an opportunity here to like change the way the conversation happens with Komodo, and the stats are backing it up, the community is backing it up, we're getting activation all over the place, like live streams are running, and major props to Audo for stepping up from the community to be CMO, because that's a hard role. Like nobody really wants to be that. I like
no. A lot of so much scrutiny. It's like the marketing, the name marketing and Komodo platform has been so heavily scrutinized and like demonized. Okay, and it's fair. of course, all kinds of sentiments abound, and totally understandable. So yeah, it takes a lot of courage and desire and the commitment to step into that kind of role and to produce like this what is becoming quite an effective outfit of individuals coming together. Good, just shout outs to Audo. Big praises on that end. And maybe 6 months ago it wasn't super clear, but that was a 6-month point, wasn't it? There was like a June 2020 where things were starting to shift and change, and that was 6 months until the stress test live stream event.
Yeah,
and
the
then
stress test live stream really marked. Yeah, it marked an opportunity that we saw that we could get engagement, that it was possible.
Yeah, and then from there, it's been 6 months, and only 6 months. It's just not even a full year update. This is a half year update. And from what we heard from CA333 and from Polycrypto blog and PTYX, and then from also the individual marketing members here, so much is coming together. It's just wonderful to hear.
Half year update, full year's work.
Yeah. Awesome. Well,
big props to our community out there too, right? Because ejuliano, like, you step up to do the MC role for so long. Like, you put on the tie, you'd like run us through everything. Like, this is everybody that's here, like listening along now, like here in the channels. This is, anyway, I could go on and on, but
it's my pleasure. Exactly. And we look forward to more people from the community just getting involved in one form or another. And we're going to hear about those community hangouts more specifically in just a minute here from Artakush. He's going to give us a reminder of the dates and times. We're also just going to get a final remark about the Miami conference, and we're going to get a final remark just about subscribing for updates and even about downloading Atomic Dex. Just as some final remarks here as we wrap up this live stream. It's definitely gone on longer than we might have expected, but that's just because there's so much dense detail packed in, and we barely covered the beginning first 2 layers basically.
Yeah, and this kind of happens every time, right? It's like we put on something and then it goes so much longer. It's the fact that like the team really doesn't poke up its head to be able to do these a whole lot. Like, we collectively try to get everybody together to do it, and then like once we do and we start talking about it, it's great to get the information out there, and then everybody like just immediately like gets back down into it again. That's why I like marketing department.
Perfect.
Where it's like,
perfect. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So
important.
Let's do it. Let's wrap this up. Thank you all for joining and being here and listening, for caring, and then share this wide and far. Talk about it. This is great. It's good times. So we're going to hear about Miami conference. Let's hear about it. I'll just tell you right now until we see Audo.
Yeah, I think Auto's going to come on and talk about the Miami conference.
He's got me now. Go for it, Audo.
Yeah, so Miami conference, 10th of August. Was it 29th and 30th? Sunday and Monday. We will be announcing the information as soon as we are ready with it. So we are looking to make an event where we showcase Komodo and the Komodo ecosystem with all the communities, all the great stuff that is happening. And yeah, we want to make unique event. I think it's going to be great. I'm pretty excited what it's turning up to be. And yeah, it's just we are pushing forward to make it a branding, make it a website, and getting that all online for the event, and then we will share the full info.
Good. So we won't keep you from doing that. We won't keep you from doing that any longer. As soon as this is over, feel free to get right on that. No, I'm kidding though. You probably need a bit of a rest. You've put together yet another big live stream event, half-year update. So congratulations and thanks for making this happen through all of the difficulties of the moment. And we look forward to just hearing from you again tomorrow, and possibly, during the Thursday town hall. Thanks, Audo. We just now are going to hear about community hangouts from Artakush. He's going to share with us about that.
You forgot something. We're going to hear from him also at the, guess what? Thursday hangout at 3 p.m. UTC.
Nice. Catch him early.
Exactly. What were you, what did you want to establish in that?
Yeah, just why don't you remind us one times of the community the basic takeaway, like what is it for and what can people expect? Who should join?
So I think the biggest thing is to look out is the Hangouts is on Wednesdays at 12 p.m. UTC and Thursdays at 3 p.m. UTC, where you can literally just talk with us, the team members, and establish some sort of conversation. If you have ideas, feedback on certain things, which we had throughout the time, like the last couple of months, we had so much feedback about websites, about certain visuals, about the scripts that we wanted to make. And we took all this into consideration that made actually that last video that you saw at the beginning of the stream. And I think besides that, if you're completely new, you should just check the weekly updates where we just kind of cover and light what's going to happen in a week. We usually post that on Mondays around 4 p.m. UTC. And for also the more condensed information, you should most definitely join the town halls at Thursdays at 6 p.m. UTC. No, not 6
Excellent.
4 p.m. I'm lying. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Okay. The Thursday town halls. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yes, indeed. And just double check anybody who's going to watch, obviously double check. And there are announcements that are posted in Discord. So, hey, if you're not involved in the Komodo platform Discord yet, it's a great opportunity to get over to Komodo Discord. You can go to the Komodo platform website and get it through there. Yeah, it's a good place to be, to get involved, again, to join the community hangouts and let your voice be heard, share your feedback, and even invest some of your skills into helping out with Komodo platform. So thank you, Artakush, for all of that effort that you're doing and for setting up these rituals.
Last thing that I wanted to mention.
So, yes, please. Sure.
Especially now with all the COVID kind of restrictions kind of going away, I would most definitely encourage people to start locally and gathering people who are into blockchain and having their own local meetups. And if you are kind of into Komodo and having something about Komodo, most definitely ping us and we maybe can help you establish these things. I see people from Belgium, myself from Netherlands. So I'm looking forward for all these kind of interesting conversations between people in real time too. So start locally and join us in the Hangouts. That's most definitely the biggest start that you can do.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, because it is so true, and I'm feeling it. The public is ready. And the thought I had yesterday: talk to the younger people, talk to the don't talk. I mean, yeah, I talk to the older people too. Like, no worries like that. But the people who are going to be using atomic DEX in 10, 20 years, these are the people that they deserve to hear about it sooner than later. All right. So thank you for sharing that, Artakush. I think that's a perfect point. Okay, we're going to move over to just Delton would tell us to subscribe for updates in the newsletter. Jcharming, do you want to take this one? And then the download atomic DEX?
Yep, don't forget to go and download Atomic DEX. You can go to atomicdex.io, or you can go to komodoplatform.com and go to the wallets page, pick up Atomic DEX. You can also go get Doge DEX, you can go get Gleek DEX, you can go get the upcoming Atomic DEX. They're all the same decentralized set of order books. Literally any of them is going to be helping KMD and supporting Komodo, especially when all those use cases that Polly was talking about that are coming into play for the second half of the year. It's the exact same model as Binance and BNB. If you're familiar with that, you use that coin on, like Binance, you use BNB on Binance to get fee reductions. You use it to like do buybacks and burns, but we're doing buybacks and not the burn, but we're going to be doing something else with it, like helping the ecosystem, creating incubator projects. Like we're going to be doing something with that to like help support Komodo even more. Like use any of these branded DEXs, and of course, like Atomic DEX, the upcoming WebDEX that CA was talking about, that was one of the major announcements. We've also got the upcoming major exchange listing, because I don't know what was wrong with Upbit, but they apparently decided to go on a delisting spree. And you know what? Who cares? Because we reached out to all those projects and we're giving them forever homes on Atomic DEX and getting them integrated in the protocol. It was a really, really great move by our PR person, Lindsey, and PTYX and Polycrypto, who are the BizDev people that are following up with that. I could just keep on going on. Don't forget to come to the community contributor meetings.
Yeah. Exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. You're right. There's just so much there, but we're going to end it here, folks. Thank you so much for joining us. It was Jcharming. We had Artakush. We had Audo. We had a bunch of team members. We had, yeah, it's just go watch it again if you want. But thank you for joining us. Thank you for caring. We hope to see you around. If you want to hang out in the Discord, there will be some people there after the stream. So yeah, come have a chat. And that's about it for me. I'm ejuliano. I'm going to sign off now for all of us. If I made any mistakes with names, I'm sorry, apologize. But that's it. We're wrapping up for this first half of the year update for 2021 Komodo platform. Welcome to half number 2. We'll see you there.